The night you finally stopped carrying what wasn't yours. The night didn't begin with clarity. It began with exhaustion. The quiet kind that settles behind the ribs and makes every breath feel heavier than it should. You didn't know what you were holding, only that it had been there for far too long. The room around you felt familiar, but your spirit didn't. Something inside you had been stretched thin, pulled in directions that didn't belong to you. You had been carrying emotions that weren't yours, expectations you never agreed to, and memories that clung like dust to the corners of your mind. You sat down without meaning to, not to think, not to solve, just to breathe. And in that breath, something shifted. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It was a soft loosening. A quiet release of a weight you didn't realize had been gripping your chest. You felt the absence before you understood the cause. A strange lightness. A subtle spaciousness. A silence that didn't feel empty, but clean. You didn't rush to fill it. You didn't reach for distraction. You simply let the quiet settle around you like a blanket that had been waiting for the moment you finally stopped fighting yourself. Slowly, your thoughts began to rearrange, not in chaos, but in clarity. You saw what you had been carrying out of habit, what you had been carrying out of fear, what you had been carrying because you didn't know how to put it down. And you realized something simple. Not everything you carry belongs to you. Some weight was handed to you. Some weight was absorbed. Some weight was inherited. Some weight was never yours to begin with. The moment you recognized this, your breath deepened. Your shoulders softened. Your spirit exhaled. You weren't losing anything. You were returning to yourself. The quiet around you became a mirror, reflecting the parts of you that had been buried beneath responsibility and expectation. You saw your patience, your softness, your curiosity, your strength that didn't need to be proven. Piece by piece, you began to reclaim the parts of yourself that had been overshadowed by the weight of others. You didn't need permission. You didn't need closure. You didn't need explanation. You only needed the honesty of this moment. And in that honesty, you discovered a truth you had forgotten. You are not responsible for carrying what breaks you. You stood up slowly, feeling the difference in your posture, the steadiness in your breath, the clarity in your presence. The world hadn't changed, but you had. You walked forward with a quiet strength, shaped not by a burden, but by release, not by fear, but by truth. Later, when the night was still, you felt the quiet again. But this time, it didn't feel unfamiliar. It felt like home. A home built not from what you carried, but from what you finally let go.